In Ghana's Bokor village, 11-year-old Felicia fetches water from this pool every day. The lives of the whole family depend on this supply. Socrates Wayo, the village chief, has drawn water from the pool since childhood.
And because we dwell on this water over 100 years, we use this water to bath, drink, cook food, wash our clothes.
This is also a social area for the village and a place where children like to play.
Who is leading this one?
One day, some Chinese came to the village and caught Felicia's attention.
Chinese government want to help your village to do one borehole to solve the water softening.
In order to improve water supplies in rural areas and to reduce waterborne diseases, the Chinese government decided to drill 1,000 wells. Since ancient times, fresh water has always been Africa's most treasured resource. According to a UN report, 14 African nations are currently in very short supply. But over the next quarter of a century, another dozen will face the same problem. Naidi village, Senegal. Mariam and her family are on their way back from a well. The water they are carrying is enough to last them for 3 days.
On cherchait d'ailleurs d'autres à l'Abgar, ici de 20 km. Quitter le matin pour arriver ici au soir. C'est très difficile.
Mariam has a big family. The tribesmen all live together. The water is distributed according to each family's size. This family mainly makes their living as herders. In order to find decent pastures, they have to travel further and further afield. There's no water near the village. Water is precious for all living creatures here. The Senegalese government decided to try to resolve the water crisis that has plagued its rural areas for years. It set a goal to meet the needs of more than 2 million people. Its plan received the full support of the Export-Import Bank of China. Naidi village would soon have its own water well. The Chinese team erected drill towers near the village. The wells were drilled deeper and deeper into the ground. Extracting water from this arid desert was no easy task.
高温、沙尘暴，这我们都经历过了，都是经过考验的。
The dish they are preparing is Henan stewed noodles. It's a taste of home, even though they are thousands of miles away. The drilling in Bokor village didn't go very smoothly. The first attempt hit a layer of solid rock. They had to move to a second site. Hundreds of meters below was a concentrated cocktail of rock and soil. But there was still no sign of water. The villagers started to get worried. The drilling crew inspected the soil.
土层跟那个花岗岩分层之间，那里有点水，打到下面好像并没看到水。
Work at the third site begins. We hope this time they'll find some water. They do. And although it had yet to be filtered, Felicia insisted on having a taste directly from the well. The thing Mariam repeated the most today was, "I'm so happy." Although today isn't an official festival, it's being greeted with the same fervent joy. Compared with the situation in Bokor village in Ghana, the drilling here went quite smoothly. The water is flowing right before their eyes. Having a supply so close to their homes is something the villagers had never known.
Kala gondo ɗo ko beltiɗo weltare nde wonɗo fuɗɗi salaɗa haaji ko ɗum kalannomi heddi noon kala ina feewa ɗo feewi.
Since 2009, in order to resolve many of Africa's critical water supply problems, China has implemented dozens of special projects in countries such as Sudan, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Guinea, Senegal, Togo, and Ghana. Africans have a saying, "A man with a jug on his head means his brother will not want for water." The Chinese people care about their African brothers. China's rapid development will also bring great benefits to Africa.
There are many examples that are of benefit to us from China, and on top of it, Chinese companies are proving to be very successful in their contribution to the development of our economy. President Xi Jinping talked about a common destiny for mankind. That is our view, that we have our different countries, different races, but we all inhabit one planet. We have to look at what are the things that can unite us on this planet, which can allow us to forge that common future.
中非历来是命运共同体，共同的历史遭遇，共同的奋斗历程，让中非人民结下了深厚的友谊。中非永远是好朋友、好伙伴、好兄弟。
Good friends help each other. Good partners cooperate with each other. And good brothers grow together. Between China and Africa, in addition to long-standing support, there is even greater concern. Qingmei Jiaxi loves painting. Oftentimes, he copies this oil painting hung in the school. He's curious about the tropical scenery depicted in it. He learned from his teacher that it was a gift to the school from African friends living thousands of miles away.
听老师说，非洲很热，那里有很多大象。 我们都很感谢刚果部，是他们帮我们建起了新的学校。
On April 14, 2010, a disastrous earthquake struck Yushu Prefecture in Qinghai Province. Afterwards, the government of the Republic of Congo donated 16 million RMB to rebuild the Wenle Primary School. In honor of the Congolese people's deep friendship, the school was renamed the China-Congo Friendship Primary School.
每到一年级的学生看到这个电视里有一个非洲人物船，他就说这刚果部，刚果部。如果有机会，我们的孩子们特别希望到非洲去看看刚果部。
上课时间到了，请迅速回到教室。
At the beginning of each semester, class gatherings themed Thanksgiving are held. The teachers explain how the Congolese government helped rebuild the school. The African people are compassionate. When the Chinese people were hit by the disaster, our less than well-off African friends didn't hesitate to offer their help. After the Wenchuan earthquake, Equatorial Guinea, a country of a mere 1 million people, donated €1 million to China. It meant that every citizen donated €1. A friend in need is a friend indeed. After massive earthquakes hit Wenchuan and Yushu, many African countries were eager to help by donating money. The Chinese people will never forget this kindness. Wang Yang is a doctor at Beijing Chaoyang Hospital. He's also a member of China's 26th medical aid team to Guinea. He always remembers the moment he left home and how his son held on tightly to his neck, reluctant to let him go. His son made a calendar where he eagerly counts down the days till his father's return. He has so far ticked off about half of them. But during that time, his father says he has become quite attached to his new surroundings.
舍不得在这儿医患环境，这对病人，这对科室大夫。我想在这7个月过程中，我还想经过自己点滴的努力，为这医院的胸外科再做一些我应手能及的贡献。
It was at here that Wang conducted the first ever thoracotomy in Guinea's history. Locals regard him as a sort of miracle worker. Before going home, he's still trying hard to share his experience with local doctors. Just like Wang, many other Chinese doctors and medical workers have given their blood, sweat, and tears to help Africa's poor. In the face of the Ebola epidemic a couple of years ago, the Chinese government provided humanitarian and material assistance to support the people of West Africa in their time of great need. Since 1963, China has sent 21,000 medical workers to 48 African countries, treating over tens of millions of patients. Right now, 46 medical aid teams consisting of nearly 1,000 doctors are working in 45 countries throughout Africa. Support each other in times of difficulty. Cooperate with each other in periods of development. One's help is reciprocated by the other's trust. It is the demonstration of the bond of brotherhood between China and Africa. For African people's friendship, China welcomes with open arms our African friends as family members to come visit for various reasons. Whether for tourism, work, business collaborations, or settling down, African people seem to really like the city of Guangzhou. There they have a greater platform to realize their dreams. The Sacred Heart Cathedral is located in downtown Guangzhou on Ida Road. Every weekend, its English Mass is a gathering for African Catholics living there. For them, it brings great comfort. Guangzhou is a window on China's economic and trade development and is a dynamic city that embraces diversity. In recent years, more and more Chinese people have started to care for the Africans living in the city. They have been offering them all sorts of help and support. Through official or private channels, such assistance has become a force in helping African people overcome their difficulties and to help immerse themselves into the local culture.
我们在登峰街这个非洲公民比较多的街道，构建了全市第一个外国人管理服务工作站，为非洲国家公民提供就近的一站式服务，包括我们公安的签证，还有他税务登记，还有工商注册等。
During the 1990s, Guangzhou, due to its prosperous manufacturing industry, became known as the world's factory. The goods produced there have a large market share in Africa. This is what attracted African merchants to Guangzhou in the first place. Nowadays, business is changing. In the beginning, Kingsley from Cameroon did the same business as other African merchants in Guangzhou, focusing on small commodity wholesaling. Today, he exports buses to help develop local transport services in Cameroon. In Guangzhou's new economic reality, Kingsley has become a representative of African merchants who have made a successful transition in the scope of their business.
When I opened my trading company in the first place, I wanted to act like a bridge between China and Cameroon. I have always wanted to do more to expose China out more for people to rediscover China. These companies, even in Africa, and strengthen trade between both countries, you know, Africa and China.
I had other options and other opportunities.
And you can find many beautiful things here.
Please, I take it back to my country and maybe put it into use in my country too.
It's most touching to see people of different nationalities get along so well. The friendship between China and Africa is deeply rooted in their people. Good friends feel close even when they are thousands of miles apart. Over the years, sincerity, friendship, and equality have been the key foundation of China-Africa relations. Although separated by vast oceans, China and Africa are now equipped with a direct and instant way of exchanging ideas and information. This is where Ms. Beatrice Marshall works. She needs to prepare before starting her work. Over the past 7 years, more and more people living across the African continent have gotten to know Beatrice.
1, 2, 3, 4. Live on CGTN with me, Beatrice Marshall.
In 2012, in order to promote better communication and exchanges between China and Africa, the first overseas branch of China Central Television was launched in Kenya. In the information age, the role of the media, people-to-people exchanges, as well as cultural communication and friendly collaboration has been on the rise. In the past, there was little to no media exchange between China and Africa.
最大的困难还是互相不了解，我们不了解非洲，同样呢，他们不了解我们。
In order to deepen the mutual understanding between China and Africa, CCTV Africa launched programs like Africa Live. This was a way for the channel not only to bring the latest news concerning China to African audiences, but to also connect the African audience to CCTV correspondents all over the world during major international events. The goal was to eliminate any misunderstandings between the different cultures.
We have been traversing the continent, making sure that the African voice is heard. We are very different from Western media, from other media that operate in Africa, because we don't just concentrate on challenges only. We don't just wait for a famine to say, oh, this is Africa. We also show Africa's successes when it comes to politics, successes when it comes to the economies. We have managed to give Africa a global platform to tell her story.
我们作为中国媒体呢，我们想报道一个真实的中国，想报道一个真实的非洲，非洲本身 也想了解一个真实的中国。
to introduce the real China to Africa and to present the real Africa to the world. CCTV Africa covers the continent from the perspectives of those who live there and who are imbued with their philosophies. It strives to dispel cross-cultural misunderstandings. It connects the Chinese and African peoples across land and sea.
Tell you an example. My mother is very happy because in her lifetime, my mother is 76, in her lifetime she's going to have a tarmac road going through her village.
Just like Beatrice's mother, millions of ordinary people across Africa have seen communication and cooperation between China and Africa, and hence the changes right on their doorstep. Rwanda is known as the land of 1,000 hills. Morning has arrived, and Kigali, the country's capital, is slowly waking up. The roads get busy as people make their way from the hill they live on to the one they work on. Frank, a bus driver, is ready for work. The road he takes every day, he knows like the back of his hand.
The roads before was not good. The roads was bad. So by that time the roads had black road was not good.
Perhaps because this was the first road built here by the Chinese, the locals call it the China Road. The company that built it calls it the 36-kilometer road. Whatever its name, 7 years after its completion, its influence on the city is clear.
It's going to look more beautiful. People has gardens are connected due to this road transportation. So I expect a lot of change and a lot of development.
The people of Kigali love this road. From one end to the other, the city is neat and tidy. This is due to the countrywide ban on plastics and Umuganda, a monthly community service day when everybody comes out to clean the streets. The road has brought change to every area it reaches.
Also with this road came the banks and the pharmacies. There's like 2 or 3 banks that came.
Transportation is vital for a city's prosperity. It affects its competitiveness, attractiveness, and potential for development. The 36-kilometer road was built 7 years ago. Through rapid economic growth, a greater number of less developed areas are waiting for the same infrastructure upgrades. In 2017, the Urban Road Upgrade Project began in Kigali. It's expected to be wrapped up in 2019. The roads being laid by Chinese firms represent about 70% of the total road mileage in the country.
这个项目呢，一共是加一块是54公里，缓解这个基加利市的这个交通拥挤，我们还能解决3000人的就业。
These are the initiative of the government of Rwanda in the partnership with the government of China, and then we find that the quality is very super.
The China Road has helped the two nations to bond. On July 22, 2018, this beautiful construction welcomed a very special guest, Chinese President Xi Jinping. Historic opportunities lie ahead for China and Rwanda. It is often said in Africa, he who travels alone goes fast, while he who travels in the company of others goes far. Only through win-win cooperation can both countries make meaningful and sustainable achievements that are beneficial to all. As the city develops, this road is one of the projects that make it more beautiful. Having become an organic part of the city, the road has transcended its original purpose to become a symbol of Kigali's rapid growth and modernity. Morgado is a professional driver. He works on the other side of Maputo Bay. Each morning he leaves home at 5 a.m. to take the ferry. Early as he was, he still had to wait in a long line of cars. It takes him about 2 or 3 hours to reach the other side.
It was so difficult to cross the Maputo to Katembe. 2 days, 3 days, no boats. It was so difficult to people for going to school, job.
Maputo is the capital of Mozambique. It is the biggest port city of around 1 million people. Katembe, the city on the other side, has a population of just 30,000. There is a large economic disparity between the two cities. The people of Mozambique longed to build a bridge from one side to the other to improve the lives of those in Katembe. This Chinese company Morgado was working for was the main contractor for the Maputo Bridge project. Morgado followed the project closely. What happens today is crucial for the success of the project. Chun Li Ming, its manager, takes an elevator to a height of 138 meters. The engineers are to inspect the bridge's north tower. Once it's approved and certified, it will signify the completion of the main section.
Nice to see you again.
It also means that the Maputo Bridge, which has been under construction for 4 years, is almost done.
Okay, thank you very much. 谢谢。非常好。谢谢，谢谢。
And I have a really good feeling that what was done so far is a world-class standard. That is some achievement that is really should be mentioned. I recommend CRBC to go also to other countries.
The construction is complete. Over the past 4 years, Chun Li Ming has been there for all of the bridge's milestones. Now it's time to say goodbye.
其实这个桥是我从基础建设到现在为止是一直在这儿。这个桥就像自己的孩子，就是像自己的孩子一样。
However, even though the bridge is complete, Chun's company will remain. They'll keep working with the local government to help improve people's lives.
就是我们也参与了他规划一个卡汤梅新城，远期规划是1万公顷，能解决40万人的常住人口在那个地方。未来的那卡汤梅的发展就是从我的浦东。
I'm so happy for that contraction that comes here. It already had changed my life for CRBC for that bridge. So now I'm happy for my family.
The city and the lives of its residents have changed forever. Morgado is confident about not only his future, but that of his city. He believes things will keep improving. The bridge that connects two economically disparate areas not only facilitates traffic, but also serves as a link for future economic development. The bridge has effectively helped pave the way for people to realize their dreams.
伊拉瓜拉，
你好，中国。
阿非卡，江宝，
我爱你。
Africa，欧拉。
美丽的中国，我爱你。
我喜欢中国。
比美尼大气呢，中国欢迎你。
大家去中国。Welcome to China。
拉希拉，拉非卡。
友谊万岁！
友谊万岁！